The tears fell faster than Maya could wipe them away, each drop landing on the worn laminate table she was desperately trying to clean. Her hands trembled as she sprayed the disinfectant, the chemical smell mixing with the salt of her grief. It was 2 a.m. at Danny's diner, that fluorescent-lit sanctuary for insomniacs and night shift workers, and she thought she was alone with her breaking heart. She thought no one would see her fall apart in the empty restaurant, surrounded by the ghosts of conversations and the lingering aroma of coffee and bacon grease. But she was wrong. "Excuse me, miss." The voice was gentle, cautious, like someone approaching a wounded animal. "Are you okay?" Maya's head snapped up, her cheeks burning with embarrassment. A man sat in the corner booth she hadn't noticed before, tall, probably in his 30s, with kind eyes and calloused hands wrapped around a steaming coffee cup. Next to him, a little girl with pigtails was coloring in a book, her tongue poking out in concentration. "I'm fine," Maya lied, her voice cracking like thin ice. She turned away, but the tears kept coming, betraying her with their relentless honesty. The man exchanged a glance with his daughter, then stood up slowly. "Sarah, keep coloring for a minute, sweetheart." He approached Maya's table with the measured steps of someone who understood that sometimes the world felt too heavy to carry alone. "Who hurt you?" he asked simply, and something in his tone, not prying, not demanding, just genuinely concerned, broke something loose inside her chest. Maya's breath hitched. She'd been holding it together for weeks, smiling through double shifts, pretending everything was normal while her world crumbled around her. But this stranger's kindness was like a key turning in a lock she'd forgotten existed. "My mom," she whispered, sinking into the booth across from where he'd been sitting. "She died yesterday morning. Pancreatic cancer. I couldn't afford to take time off work. I need the money for the funeral." The man, she could see his name tag now, David, night manager, slid into the seat across from her. His presence was steady, undemanding. "I'm sorry," he said, and meant it. "That's a hell of a burden to carry alone." Maya laughed bitterly. "Alone is all I've got. Mom raised me by herself, and now." She gestured helplessly at the empty diner, at her tear-stained uniform, at the weight of her solitude. David was quiet for a moment, then called softly to his daughter. "Sarah, come here for a second." The little girl bounced over, clutching her crayon box. She couldn't have been more than 6, with her father's eyes and a gap-toothed smile that could light up the darkest night. "This is Maya," David said gently. "She's having a really sad day because someone very special to her went to heaven." Sarah's face grew solemn. Without hesitation, she climbed onto the booth next to Maya and wrapped her small arms around her. "I'm sorry your person went to heaven," she whispered. "When my mommy went to heaven, Daddy said it was okay to be sad." Maya's composure crumbled completely. She held this tiny stranger who understood loss in a way that made Maya feel less alone than she had in months. Over Sarah's head, she met David's eyes and saw her own grief reflected there, not fresh, but familiar, like an old scar that still ached in the rain. "How long?" Maya asked quietly. 2 years, David replied. "Car accident." Sarah was 4. He reached over and smoothed his daughter's hair. "We know what it's like to feel like the world forgot to stop spinning when your world ended." They talked through the night. David had been working double shifts himself, juggling his day job at a construction company with managing the diner's night crew. Sarah often came with him, sleeping in the back office when school was out. They were their own small army of 2, fighting their way through grief and exhaustion in the relentless march of bills and responsibilities. As dawn approached, painting the diner windows with soft pink light, David made a decision that would change everything. "I can't bring your mom back," he said quietly. "But I can help with the funeral. And I meant what I said about not carrying this alone." Maya shook her head fiercely. "I can't take your money. I don't even know you." "Then let me know you," David said simply. "Let us be your people. Sarah and we've gotten pretty good at being a family of choice rather than chance." Sarah nodded solemnly. "We're really good at being sad together and happy together and eating ice cream for breakfast sometimes." Despite everything, Maya laughed, really laughed, for the first time in weeks. Over the following days, David kept his word. He organized a collection among the diner staff and his construction crew. He drove Maya to the funeral home, sat with her while she made impossible decisions about flowers and caskets and programs. Sarah drew pictures for Maya's mom, stick figures holding hands under a smiling sun, because everyone in heaven should have pictures to remember Earth. The funeral was small but not empty. David and Sarah sat in the front row with Maya, along with a handful of diner regulars who had become invested in this waitress who served their coffee with genuine warmth. Mrs. Patterson from the flower shop brought extra arrangements because everyone deserves beauty when they say goodbye. Tom, the construction foreman, quietly paid for the funeral programs when he thought no one was looking. After the service, as they stood by the gravesite, Sarah tugged on Maya's hand. "Are you still sad?" she asked. "Yes," Maya said honestly. "But it's a different kind of sad now. It's sad with love in it." David nodded. "That's the kind of sad that heals, eventually." Months passed. Maya found herself invited to Sarah's school plays and birthday parties. She taught Sarah how to braid friendship bracelets while David fixed Maya's ancient car engine. They became a family not through blood or law, but through the simple decision to show up for each other, day after day. One evening, almost a year after that night in the diner, Maya was serving tables when she noticed a young man in the corner booth, shoulders shaking as he stared at his untouched coffee. She recognized the posture, the way grief makes the world feel both too big and too small. She approached slowly, the way David had approached her. "Are you okay?" she asked gently. He looked up with red-rimmed eyes. "My dad," he whispered. "Heart attack this morning." Maya glanced toward the kitchen, where David was filling salt shakers, where Sarah was doing homework at the counter. Her family of choice, her people who had taught her that sometimes the most profound human connections begin with a simple question: who hurt you? "Let me get you some fresh coffee," Maya said, sliding into the booth across from the young man. "And then, if you want to talk about it, I'm here to listen." Nobody should have to carry that kind of hurt alone. Outside, the neon sign of Danny's Diner flickered against the darkness, a beacon for anyone who needed to be found.